Welcome aboard, everybody. Longevity Nation, world. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. Thanks for finding the time to join me this afternoon. Check out the live stream. We are streaming live, drglidden.com. Just go there, drglidden.com. You can have access to the live stream. And as a member of the live stream, you'll have access to a chat room, and you can see what like-minded individuals like yourself are up to all around the world. Lots of fun currently watching in the live stream. 21 people. Yesterday we had 65. We're looking to break records here. Not many people know about the live stream. It's a brand new thing that we have started to do. So spread the word, because what we are up to is important. And I think, I don't know if people, generally speaking, even people that are inside of longevity, have really grasped the severity and the immensity, it's a better word, the immensity of what we are up to. Through the agency of longevity, the Longevity Corporation, we are generating a grassroots coalition of the informed, people all around the world, no longer separated by race, creed, color, ethnicity, borders, all of whom have just simply become frustrated with the mediocre, dangerous, ineffective results delivered by the conventional allopathic MD pharmaceutical centrist model. Right? This is our mantra. MD-directed medicine for chronic disease does not work. The system doesn't need to be managed, massaged, tweaked, upregulated, or downregulated. It needs to be abandoned because it does not work. It's illegal for chiropractors to do open heart surgery, right? Well, it should be illegal for MDs to treat chronic disease because they are horrible at it. That is not their wheelhouse, but because they have monopolized the medical theater and because they bring to the table intellectual cowardice, fuzzy research, and quite frankly, an across-the-board inability to stand up for what's right. 500,000 people killed by Vioxx, and what happens? Nothing. Nothing happens. 500,000 people dead from one drug. You think that if that happened to my profession, right? If an herbal company or a nutritional supplement company killed 500,000 people, what do you think would happen to them? They'd be out of business. But when the pharmaceutical companies do it, they get a pass, and we all just continue to march down the road. It's nuts. It's nonsense. This is our message. Conventional medicine for chronic disease doesn't work. Your medical doctor doesn't own the theater of medicine. They don't know what's best for you. They might be the nicest human being God ever created, but they only know what they've been trained in, and what they've been trained in is just one small piece of the pie of medical science. It's really good for surgery when it's absolutely necessary, and trauma care, a handful of infectious diseases. That's where it begins, and that's where it should end. But because it's a medical monopoly, because the pharmaceutical industry runs the world, most people in the world only have access to professionally regulated MD medicine. Naturopathic medicine, my profession, is alternative, right? I don't know who came up with that term, but it wasn't me. I don't practice alternative medicine. That's like calling, a German Shepherd, that's the only real dog, and every other dog is an alternative dog. Oh, I don't think so. Naturopathic medicine is not alternative. It's holistic. I mean, you could say that Christianity is an alternative religion, or Buddhism is an alternative religion. I mean, Buddhism is the most widespread religion in the world with the greatest amount of followers, so why don't we call Judaism or Catholicism alternative religions? Well, we don't. But we're more than happy to do that when it comes to medicine. And it's an indication, or it's a way that conventional medicine makes you think that everybody but them is kind of beneath them, right? Alternative denotes something, right, superior. There's something superior that we are alternative to, inferior to. It's nonsense. Holistic medicine is a different type of medicine. And it is extremely well suited for chronic disease. But because most people don't even know how to pronounce naturopath, let alone know what it is, have no idea what naturopathy is. Most people in the United States, most people around the world, have no active understanding of what naturopathic medicine is. They maybe kind of have heard about it somewhere, right? Maybe, but they have no idea what it is. How do I know this? Because if people knew what naturopathic medicine was, we'd have 10,000 phone calls a minute. 10,000 phone calls a minute, but we don't. We have more phone calls right now than we can handle. Because you can't keep the truth under a bushel for a long period of time. You can do it for a short period of time. And the pharmaceutical industry has convinced you for a short period of time in the last 80 years that they are the top dogs on campus and everybody else is a back of the bus quack. But quite frankly, when it comes to chronic disease, the therapeutic that the MD brings to the table doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And ironically, there do exist right now in real time alternatives to drugs and surgery, holistic medical therapeutic interventions, science-based, clinically verified, which are available to you right now. So if you're suffering with a chronic illness and you're frustrated with stuff that your MD has brought to bear on your situation, we have an answer. And because most of the time the body responds easily and well to the correct intervention, most of the time, there are exceptions that prove this rule, but most of the time, if you're suffering with a chronic illness, you do not need to see a physician. You do not need to get $5,000 of diagnostic discovery. You don't need it. You can do it if you want. And every once in a while, every year or two, it's not a bad idea to get some blood work done so you have an understanding of what's really going on in the body, because there are some things that can remain hidden. But most people with a chronic disease already know that they have a chronic disease, and they already know what its name is. They know that they have type 2 diabetes. Their MD told them 10 years ago. They know that they have arthritis. They already have a fake knee, and now the other knee's starting to go, and the fake knee is starting to get worse. They already know that they have insomnia or anxiety or panic attacks or heartburn or high blood pressure or fibromyalgia or Lyme's disease. They already know that they have infertility. They already know that their energy is in the crapper. So, for most people, irony of ironies, the stuff that they need to do is easy, and it's right here in front of us. It's right here. It's right here. And this is what we bring to the table. Science-based, clinically verified foundation medical therapeutics for the masses. Because surgery is complicated and healing is easy. You don't need $5,000 of blood work. You need 90 essential nutrients. You need to stop eating food that's gumming up the works, and you need to give your body the raw materials that it needs in order to support and promote its structure and function. That's all that we promote here. Oh, you have a bone and joint problem? Well, let me think about this. Oh, this is a real difficult one. Do I need to do an X-ray? Do I need to do a CT scan? Do I need to do an MRI? Do I need to do an ultrasound? Do I need to do a complicated blood analysis? Maybe I should do that. Do I need to give you prescription medication, the intention of which is not to fix the problem, but simply to overtake and overpower and exert a hostile takeover of the biochemistry of your body, upregulating certain biochemical pathways just to kind of keep running ahead of the rising tide? Is that what I should do? No. What do I do? Well, I'm a holistic physician. I'm a licensed naturopathic physician trained in the belief, the fundamental foundation belief of all holistic medical therapeutics is that the human body knows how to fix itself. The human body wants to fix itself. Now, there are limits to what the human body can do. I'm not aware of anything that can make a tooth grow back, or if you cut your finger off, heaven forbid, make the finger grow back. Don't know anything that'll do that. There is a point beyond which the body cannot recover its health, but the point beyond which the body cannot recover its health is way, 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 way out there. And for most people suffering with chronic diseases, all that you need to do in order to recover your health is support and promote your body's ability to optimize its structure and function. You need to give the body the stuff it needs to fix itself. Stop eating the food that's hurting the body. Get the hell out of the way and see what happens. You stick around with us long enough, you'll see testimonials, you'll hear testimonials, unsolicited, by the way. We don't solicit, we don't pay. We don't pay for testimonials. We don't screen any of the phone calls. I have no idea what people are going to say when they call up. No idea. So you stick around with us long enough, you will hear testimonials delivered spontaneously through the heart that will bring you to tears. Because like they said somewhere, in some book I read somewhere, my people are destroyed by lack of knowledge. See, the problem is that the medical industry has been dominated and monopolized by the pharmaceutical industry for almost 100 years. So everybody is enrolled in the cultural myth that the MD is the king and everybody else has substandard, right? The MD is the king and everybody else is substandard. Most people assume that the MDs are the king because their therapeutics are better. And when in point of fact, the real reason that the MDs are the king is because of financial and political coalitions which were built between the pharmaceutical industry and the politicians at the turn of the century that everybody's forgotten about. You know, they don't teach that in school anymore. Want to read a good book about that? Rockefeller Medicine Men by E. Richard Brown. Or get a copy of my book, The MD Emperor Has No Clothes. I like the ring of that. The MD Emperor Has No Clothes. Available on my website, drglidden.com. Click on the link, download it to your Kindle, download it to your computer right now, $9.99 via Amazon, drglidden.com. Click on the link. Knowledge is power, and the simple fact of the matter here is that we bring to the table science-based, clinically verified alternatives to drugs and surgery, the intention of which are to support and promote your body's ability to fix themselves. Therapeutics that your MDs are completely unaware of, they are completely blind to. You need to know what we know, and we're offering it up here free of charge. No office call needed. No copay needed. All I need is a little bit of your time. Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health. Stick around. Beverly from Georgia's up when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. Having a lively chat session here with people watching the live feed. 27 people now in the live feed. And the phones are ringing off the hook as they always do. Let's get going and go to Georgia and talk to Beverly. Hey, Bev, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden.
What's going on, Beverly? Thanks for the call. How's Georgia? Hot and humid?
Yes, it is.
I bet it is. What part of the state do you live in?
I'm in Cobb County.
Cobb County, all right.
Marietta, Georgia. Mm-hmm.
All right. Is that Tornado Alley or not so much?
Not so much.
Okay, well, yeah, let's hope you never have to handle that.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, thanks for the call. How can I help?
Last week we discovered, I have a daughter. She's 17 years old.
Yeah.
And I found a banana-sized lump in her breast.
Yeah.
Like it's wrapped around it.
Yeah.
It's covering like 85% of it.
Yep. Has it been checked? Has it been checked? Has it been biopsied?
Not yet. I just found out, and we're going very soon to have it checked.
Okay.
She's very small.
Okay, well, I mean, it could be a million things. Well, no, it couldn't be a million things, but there's only a handful of things this could be. This could be a benign tumor. This could be a malignant tumor. This could be something called just fibrocystic breast disease, right? Usually when things are this big, in small-breasted women, it's fibrocystic breast disease, and it's not a tumor.
Okay.
I mean, if I had to guess now, just based on the presentation, I would say that it's fibrocystic breast disease. But it has to be checked out. It has to be biopsied. They have to figure out what the heck is going on, right? Mm-hmm. Now, remember, we don't treat cancer. It's illegal. We don't treat any disease on this program, quite frankly. What we do, excuse me for just a second.
Sure.
what we do is recommend people get on board with protocols that support and strengthen their body's ability to recover its structure and function. We don't make any claims. We just say, look, naturopathic doctors for thousands of years have been practicing medicine and legally so in the United States for about the last 45 years. And that show that if you do these things will then occur. And selenium supplementation for breast health is of maximum importance. Selenium supplementation for breast health is of maximum importance. So what I would do if I were your daughter is I would go to my website, I would download the list of the 10 bad foods, and I would stop eating them immediately. I wouldn't even look at any of these 10 bad foods for the rest of my life, with special extra emphasis, in her case, on oil and fried food. Oil and fried food are big, bad voodoo daddies, especially when it comes to cancer and or fibrocystic disease. It's big, bad voodoo daddies. She must never eat anything fried again. Everybody should stop eating all fried foods, right? And in order to support and promote the structure and function of her body, the recommendation would be, what's her body weight? Probably around 115?
A little bit under 100.
Okay, so that's easy then. The recommendation would be one Healthy Start Pack 2.0 liquid. One Healthy Start Pack 2.0 liquid. 3 bottles of selenium. 3 bottles of selenium. And 3 bottles of Z, like zebra radical. 3 Z radical, 3 selenium, and 1 Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 in the liquid form. Plus eliminate the 10 bad foods and then get the biopsy done. That's what I would do. We got to march down this road, and guaranteed. See, this is one of the problems, Beverly, because stuff like this doesn't just show up without any other things going on, right? So whenever there's tissue change of any degree, like, you have an eczematous condition, or there's a lump somewhere, or the prostate is enlarged, or there's something going on in the stomach, there are always symptoms which precede it. Always symptoms which precede it. Funky energy, funky mood, aches and pains that come and go on a regular basis, extremely painful periods, erratic periods, migraine headaches, and inability to go to sleep at night. Something's been going on for a long time, but her MDs are completely clueless about all of that, which makes it all the more frustrating. So, Beverly, if you're still listening, that was basically it. I was on a little rant there. The recommendation for your daughter to support the structure and function of her body, 1 Healthy Start Pack 2.0 in the liquid form, 3 selenium and 3 Z radical, plus eliminate the 10 bad foods. And this is it, folks. We haven't been trained appropriately because the methodology that the MDs bring to the table is old-fashioned, outdated, archaic, and completely out of step with what's really going on in the human body. Nobody's trained us to pay attention to symptoms. Nobody has trained us that the presence of a symptom means that it's like the red warning light on the dashboard. You should be symptom-free marching through life. If you're not, there's something that needs to be addressed. You don't just ignore the check engine light, do you? Do you do that? Do you ignore the check engine light? Well, how's that working for you? If you ignore active, persistent symptoms in the human body, then you're SOL, and it's only a matter of time until those chickens come home to the roost, because that's the language of your body telling you something's up. So let's say you're smart enough to listen to that, and so you've got an active and persistent symptom, so you go to the MD, and they do $5,000 of diagnostic discovery. They can't find anything wrong, or if they do find something wrong, their intention is not to fix it. Their intention is not to get to the root of it. Their intention is not to figure out why it's happening. Their intention is to suppress it. So what do they give? Cortisone, prednisone, anti-inflammatories, antibiotics, antihistamines, antacids, anti-something, because it's reductionistic medicine. It's oppositionally defiant. The medicine does not intend to fix the problem. It intends to suppress the symptom. Well, then the MD runs into the back room, keeps his fingers crossed, hunkers down, and hopes that your body fixes itself. Otherwise I'm going to get sued. Oh, no, that's why they have malpractice insurance. The entire system of medicine that you pay hard-earned money in the form of medical insurance premiums that now the government mandates we have to do. And if you're in Canada, you're screwed because that's the way it's been for the last 100 years. Socialized medicine, you've got no choice. They take money right out of your paycheck before it even gets to you to give you access to MD-directed pharmaceutical medicine. Symptom suppressive medicine. On steroids. And that pun was intended. Now remember, you're bleeding to death on the battlefield. MDs are good. You have a bullet in your arm in South Chicago, MDs are good. You're skiing up in Alberta. You break your leg, heaven forbid, MDs are good. You're T-boned at a intersection, heaven forbid, by a drunk driver and get a concussion, MDs are good. That's their wheelhouse. But for chronic disease, you bring your body to an MD, you're an idiot. You're not, and it's only a matter of time until their therapeutics fail. I mean, look around you. Next time you go to Home Depot, next time you go to Walgreens, next time you go to your family gathering, next time you go to the July 4th barbecue or the summer get together. Just look around and see how many people are overweight, how many people are taking how many medications, how many people are sick and suffering. Everybody! Because everybody's drunk the Kool-Aid. That the MD is the king. And even though their therapeutics fail us, even though their therapeutics harm us, even though their therapeutics bankrupt us, even though their therapeutics kill us, we continue to go back to them, like lemmings, following each other over the cliff, if that even is a true thing. I doubt very much that it is. But you get the drift. It's the Matrix, folks. Wake up. I am the red pill. Cheryl from Alabama is up next. It's either Alabama or Alaska. I think it's Alabama. Hey, Cheryl, thanks for the phone call. You were live.
Hey, it's Alabama.
All right, Alabama. They call Alabama the Crimson Tide. Boy, was that off key.
Well, I'm out here where nobody eats right.
Yeah, I know, right? It's scary. I mean, you can get, like, fried peanuts on the side of the road down there, man. It's bad.
How else do you cook anything?
I know, right?
It's tough. But I've got a sister that's got really, really bad carpal tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
She wants to go to the doctor, and I don't want her to. So I know you've been talking about how do you say it? Molybdenum?
Yeah, molybdenum. So, I'll do a little couple second riff here on, carpal tunnel, and then you can just have her listen to the podcast. Will that work?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So in the anatomy of the arm and the hand, right, you've got the wrist, which is the junction between the arm and the hand. And there's a whole bunch of bones in the hand. There's a whole lot of stuff going on in this part of the body. And in order for nerves and blood vessels to get into the hand from the arm, they go through a little tunnel in the wrist. And it looks just like a tunnel anatomically. And it's called the carpal tunnel. Now, because it goes right next to the carpal bone, right? You've heard of the carpals and the metacarpal bones. Well, that's fancy schmancy doctor talk for the different names for the different bones in your hands. Well, the carpal tunnel goes right, that's why it's called the carpal tunnel. So, the carpal tunnel is like, What's it like? It's like a sheath, or it's like, it's like a tunnel. Now, but the stuff inside the tunnel is tightly packed, right? The nerves and the blood vessels in the tunnel, they're like right up against the lining of the tunnel. And if the tunnel loses nutrients, it loses lubrication. If the tunnel loses lubrication, just simple motion of the wrist will cause friction. And you know what happens when you buy a new pair of shoes and you put them on and they're too stiff and they're not flexible enough, and you walk around, the skin on your foot that's rubbing up against the shoe gets frictioned, and then you get a blister, right? Well, the same thing happens inside. So carpal tunnel syndrome is kind of like a blister inside the carpal tunnel. Not really, but it's inflammation happening. Why is it happening? Because you have a wrist? No. Because you have a carpal tunnel? No. Because the carpal tunnel in this case has run out of the nutrients that it needs, and it's gotten dried out. It's lost its lubrication. Now, when you go to an MD, they will slit your wrist, open it up, look at the carpal tunnel, and what they see is a lot of scar tissue. Well, what caused the scar tissue to be there in the first place? The MD doesn't care. The MD never asks that question. So the MD's job with carpal tunnel surgery is to scrape away the scar tissue, close everything up, and hope it doesn't happen again. How successful do you think that is? Not very. I mean, I don't know the statistics, but I don't know very many people who have carpal tunnel syndrome and 2 years later they're happy and they're healthy. Because the surgical procedure doesn't get to the root cause of the problem. The root cause of the problem is inflammation. It's chronic inflammation in the carpal tunnel that causes the production of scar tissue. Scar tissue doesn't just happen, it follows on the backs of inflammation. Which, begs the question, what the hell causes the inflammation? The MDs don't give a crap. They don't care. They do not care. They're just going to cut you open and then cut you open a year later and just keep cutting you open until they can't do it anymore. Then they'll cut your hand off. That's their solution. Oh, wait for the next bionic hand. That's what we'll do. We're going to have a good deal on bionic hands in 5 years. I read that in Scientific American. Ooh, just wait. Just like Luke Skywalker. We'll all have bionic hands. Won't that be great? So, avoid the knife. This is not a medical emergency. My recommendation, avoid the knife unless you're bleeding to death. And, not only because the surgical procedure does not get to the root cause of the illness, but the surgical procedure also opens you up to antibiotic-resistant bacteria, which is a big, bad voodoo daddy in the world now. And you know where antibiotic-resistant bacterial infections come from? Surgical procedures in hospitals. I mean, even just going in for normal stuff, you get an antibiotic-resistant bacterial infection, you're SOL. And by the way, the MDs get a pass on that one, too. Can you imagine what would happen if somebody got a MRSA infection at a chiropractor's office? You think the chiropractor would get a pass? No. Chiropractor would be out on a rail. Naturopath would be out on a rail, but MD-directed medicine is why people get antibiotic-resistant bacterial infections and nothing happens to the MD. Nothing happens to the MD. And, apparently we're all okay with this culturally. So, our recommendation when you are up against any inflammation anywhere in the body is stop eating food that creates inflammation in the body, number one. Most of those foods can be found in the 10 bad food list. So, number one, please have your sister stop eating the 10 bad foods. Number two, have her take into her body nutrients that the carpal tunnel needs to be lubricated, healthy, and strong. The main nutrient necessary here is a trace mineral called molybdenum. 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 Say that 10 times fast. You can secure that in 1 anti-aging healthy start pack and 2 selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. That's my recommendation to support and promote a healthy carpal tunnel is 1 anti-aging healthy start pack and 2 selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. You may also want to get an extra bottle of plant-derived minerals, put it into a spray bottle, and 3-4 times a day spray the plant-derived minerals right onto the wrist. right onto the wrist and then rub it in so it soaks in through the skin. Plant-derived minerals, not the cherry mints, the plant-derived minerals right on the wrist, and so it soaks through the skin into the hand. Now, guaranteed, if she or anybody else in the world has nutrient deficiency so bad that it's driving a chronic inflammatory process that now is so bad that they're thinking surgery, guaranteed she's got other symptoms that she's just gotten used to because the MDs don't know their ass from their elbow when it comes to pathophysiology. They do not. So guaranteed, she's got chronic heartburn, she's got bad menstrual cramps, she's got insomnia, she's got chronic low back pain, she's got ringing in the ears, she's got inability to sleep at night, she's 75 pounds overweight. Something is going on with her and has been going on for a long time. And she's gotten used to it. She thinks that's just life. She's become the patron saint of mediocrity like everybody else in the world. And it's not her fault. It's her medical doctor's fault. Quite frankly, it's the pharmaceutical industry's fault. It's got to be somebody's fault. Got to be somebody's fault. World War II, that was somebody's fault, right? Was that somebody's fault? 9/11, that was somebody's fault, right? You think it was the hijackers' fault? I don't think so. I think it was an inside job, but that's a whole nother conversation, isn't it? Doesn't matter. Somebody's got to be at fault. Why don't we hold MD's feet to the fire when they fail us? Why don't we do that? Politically, because we've got our heads up. I don't know why we don't do that. But anyway, that's the situation here. And because and I've only got 30 seconds left, I apologize. Because this is a non-life-threatening thing, my recommendation is give our way a try for 90 days, 3 months. 3 months. See how she feels. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. And proof of the pudding's in the eating. That's what I'd have her do. I appreciate your phone call. Hope that answered your question. Stick around, folks. More to come. Welcome back. Finishing up the first hour here. Appreciate your patience. I've been a little on a tear in this first hour. I think I need to stop drinking caffeine before the show. Let's go to Ingrid, perhaps in Florida. Is it Ingrid? Did we get that right or wrong?
No, you got it right. I'm here.
Okay, Ingrid, thanks for your patience and your call. How can I help?
Well, I have had, since the beginning of the year, I've been very healthy all my years, and I'm an older person, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks with sciatica pain, like shooting pains on my back, and then took cortisone. I went to the urgent care and had cortisone shots. This is not a good thing. I'm finding out. And then I hadn't taken any medication for many years. Okay, so they gave me medicine. They gave me anti-inflammatory and a muscle relaxer, and I took that till February. And I stopped taking it. Had horrible side effects. Had one leg was getting wider from inflammation. The knee has been hot. The ability to walk has been hampered.
Great.
Horrible thing.
Well, don't you just love conventional medicine?
Oh, I want to stay away from it. I mean, I was
starting. Well, I
know. I already didn't want to take any medicine, but I was in such horrific pain that
Well, no, I get it. But, right, this is the thing, right? I mean, how old are you?
66.
Yeah, and you've been paying medical insurance premiums your whole life to, hoping against hope you don't ever need it, but, it's a hedge against, maybe I'm going to need it. So now you do need it, and look what it's gotten you. Nothing. They have nothing for you. I mean, it's a shell game.
No, absolutely. And I stayed away from doctors, but recently I went to a doctor and he ordered an MRI, and I'm not even so sure I want to go through that.
You shouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't. It's a fool's errand.
Right.
So how did this all start?
I have no idea. How did it start? I mean,
what were the symptoms that started that first brought you there?
The very first symptoms were the very, very end of December of last year, where I had an inability to get out of bed. Like I couldn't move my legs to get out of bed. Like
your legs were paralyzed, or there was so much pain that you couldn't move them?
I was shooting pains in my back. It was like shooting pains, and they were hitting my legs as well.
All right. Have you been to a chiropractor?
No, but I want to. I think that's...
All right. How much do you weigh?
I lost a lot of weight from 137 in the beginning of the year to 100.
All right, so here's what I would do for 90 days, okay? And starting on week five, I would find a chiropractor and, have to tell them your history. It sounds to me like you either have a chronic muscle spasticity going on, which is gripping the sciatic nerve as it goes down into your leg, causing the shooting pain. It's also possible
I'm trying to take notes. Can you go a little slower? I'm sorry. It's going over my head. I don't want it to go over my head. It's very valuable to me. Okay. You said,
well, you can always listen to, I will, and just FYI, this show is podcast for 24 hours after it airs, so you can go back and listen to the recording to your heart's content. Okay, so
okay, thank you.
The recommendation here would be every month for 3 months in a row, I would get one Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0.
Okay, Tangerine.
Yep.
Okay.
2.0 to make sure it's 2.0.
Okay.
I would get one bottle of EFA Plus, like Edward Francis Albert Plus, one bottle of EFA Plus.
Okay.
One bottle.
Is that the thing with the fish oil?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
One bottle of Cal Toddy, that's CAL, like calcium, Cal Toddy. Actually, I get 2 bottles of Cal Toddy. 2 bottles of Cal Toddy.
Okay.
Right? 2 bottles of Cal Toddy. And 2 bottles of liquid Glucogel Plus, liquid Glucogel Plus.
Oh, liquid Glucogel.
Yep. Plus eliminate the 10 bad foods.
Okay. Eliminate.
Now, how'd you hear about us?
Well, I heard about you through Benny Hinn, and I saw Joel Wallach on Benny Hinn.
Okay, so have you already ordered the products?
I already started ordering the products, but I just found out yesterday about you, and I also found out that I've been eating a lot of nuts, and eating nuts with the minerals is not a good thing. So
I know, right?
Why it didn't work? I don't know.
Well, plus the other 10 bad foods that we have to really stay away from: wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Okay.
Yeah,
I want you to do this diligently. Now listen, do this diligently for 21 days and then call me back. Call me back in the beginning of the 4th week and give me a report, and I'll bring you up to speed with what, if anything, you need to do next. Give the body what it needs. Stop eating stuff that's gumming up the works. Get out of the way and let your God-given ability, your body's God-given ability to fix itself, give it a chance. I think you're going to love how you feel, and I appreciate your call. Thanks very much, Ingrid. More to come in hour 2, folks, and check out the live stream at drglidden.com. What on earth did I have for breakfast? What did I have for lunch? I'm like all over the place. I'm like, I'm going on tear after tear after tear today. I don't know why. I'm not going to apologize for it either, because it's a good thing. If you're, on a cruise, and I don't even know how many people fit on a cruise ship. 3,000 people on a cruise ship? And, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're the only one awake, and you're up on deck. And the captain's in the cockpit, in the conning tower, and he's looking forward, and you're looking backwards. You're on the stern, and you see a little fire start to burn. Are you going to just calmly walk away and go to bed? Or are you going to ring the alarm? You're going to ring the alarm, right? Or, you see an enemy submarine rise up in back of the ship. Or you see, there's another ship on a collision course, but the captain doesn't see it and the radar is down. What are you going to do? You're going to yell as loud as you can. You're going to ring that bell. Well, your health is at risk. And so is your wealth, by the way. You happy with that 9 to 5? You happy with that mediocre paycheck? You happy with having $10,000 of credit card debt? You don't feel so bad, right? Because all your friends have the same thing. You happy with the bank owning your house? You happy with the bank owning your car? It doesn't feel so bad, right? Because all your friends are in the same boat. It's a good metaphor, the boat metaphor. One of these days, you're going to wake up and you're going to get it. You're going to snap out of it and you're going to understand, holy crap, I've been screwed, glued, and tattooed by the corporate banksters and the medical professionals. So then you're going to start to take action. You're going to start to get your health back. You're going to start to get your wealth back. You're going to become a longevity member. Get with the person that turned you onto this show, ladies and gentlemen. Get with them. Have them show you the business opportunity. Have them show you the health opportunity. Call them. Tell them, look, I want to get started with this stuff Dr. Glidden's talking about. Get it for me at the wholesale price. And what's this I hear? I can turn people in my life onto this and get my supplements for free and make a couple extra $100 a month. I'm in. I'm all in. Show me how to do it. Because I'm done. I'm done. I am done. Stick a fork in me, baby. I'm done. And this is how we're going to change the world. One person at a time. By the way, the sower had good seed. We have very good seed. Got to have good seed, or this metaphor goes to pot. Dr. Wallach's nutritional supplements are the most effective I've seen in 25 years of clinical work. I've been I've been practicing naturopathic medicine in clinical settings for 25 years, coming up on 26 years in September. And Dr. Wallach's nutritional supplements produce more results than anything I've ever seen. And that's why I advocate it. That's why I do it. I could advocate any vitamin company in the world, and I used to. I used to work for a vitamin company that only sold to doctors. I know about vitamin companies you've never even heard of. I have access as a naturopathic physician to vitamins from companies that only sell to physicians, and I recommend Wallach's instead of theirs. Why? Because Wallach's works better. Proof of the pudding's in the eating. Don't believe me? Well, go jump off go jump off a cliff. I don't really care. Proof of the pudding's in the eating. Longevity posts record profits every year. How is that possible? Because it works. For goodness sake. The proof of the pudding's in the eating. Check it out. Get on board with the appropriate healthy pack and get with the person that invited you to this webinar to show them, have them show you the business opportunity. It's not easy, but it's not hard. If you can pass the driver's license test, you can have a successful longevity business, and God knows we need the help. Because nobody knows what we know, and everybody needs to know what we know, and we need an army, a non-militant army of people spreading the message, opening the door for their friends, family members, church members, opening the door to the undiscovered country of optimal health through holistic medicine. And that's how we roll. Want to roll with us? You'll have a lot of fun if you do. And by the way, if you came to us by hook or by crook, you were searching the internets, you were Googling something, and Dr. Glidden's friendly face popped up, and you just came over here today because the internet advertising that we've done or whatever, then go to my website, drglidden.com, click on the Join Team Glidden button, or call us directly, 855-347-3696, and we'll tell you what to do. And again, if you were directed here by somebody else in longevity, then get with them, and they will tell you the next step. New York's up next, one of my favorite states in the country. Love New York State. Hey, Benjamin, what's going on? You are live.
Yeah, Dr. Glidden, what's the cause of cavity?
Oh, it's a cavity, like a tooth cavity?
Yes.
Oh, man, I don't know anything to do to fix that. I wish I did. There's a lot of anecdotal information about what to do for that, but really, man, you need to find a dentist. See, the problem, however, is depending on the dentist that you go to, you're either going to be, there's good dentists and there's bad dentists is what I'm trying to say. Just like anything else, right? There's good cops, there's bad cops. Tend to be way more bad cops than good cops these days. Has anybody noticed that? The days of Andy Griffith are gone, by the way. There's good plumbers, bad plumbers, good roofers, bad roofers, good landscapers, bad landscapers. There's bad lawyers, and then there's maybe a good lawyer here or there. It's the same thing with dentists. So I would ask around to your friends and family members, see who they have gone to and see what their results were. Or check Angie's List, something like that. But, right, our recommendation for oral health is our recommendation for total body health because the mouth is connected to the rest of the body. So the recommendation here in order to support and promote the structure and function of the teeth is 1 Healthy Start Pack 2.0 in the liquid form, 1 Healthy Start Pack 2.0 in the liquid form, and 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month, plus 1 extra bottle of liquid calcium a month, and my favorite is Cal Toddy. So I would do 1 Healthy Start Pack 2.0 in the liquid form, 2 selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month, plus 1 extra bottle of Cal Toddy a month. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. Find a good dentist, Benjamin, because they're going to be able to help you here. Washington is up next, my old stomping ground. I lived in Washington State for too long. I started to get moldy myself, had to leave. Camille is up next. Hey, Camille, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hey, thank you. I have a friend, and he is probably in his late 40s, early 40s, and he has Kennedy's disease. And have you heard of that?
Kennedy's disease?
Yes, it's
like the president.
No, but it's an X chromosome. There's a problem with X chromosome, and it's a genetic disease where the muscles fade out. And he says that he used to be a doctor and he has no hope. And I would just want to see if you had any experience with it.
No, I haven't, but I'm going to look it up right now, and I'm going to dial this in for you. And by doing so, off the cuff here, you're going to see my thought process, and you'll be able to understand how we roll here, okay? So here it is. I'm reading this right off the net. Kennedy's disease is a rare and currently incurable and non-treatable X-linked recessive genetic progressive neuromuscular disease. Kennedy's disease is an adult-onset disease with symptoms usually appearing between the ages of 30 and 50. Generally, males with this inherited gene develop symptoms, while females with this gene are usually just carriers. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm looking to see if the gene that's involved here is a gene or if it's a mutation to a gene. If it's a gene or if it's a mutation to a gene. I'm probably going to think that it is in fact a mutation to a gene. And I'm looking for that reference right now. I can't see it. I'm going to have to do a little more research to this, but here's what we do know about genetics. And what you should do is get a copy of Dr. Wallach's book, Epigenetics, and give it to your friend. Get a copy of Dr. Wallach's new book, Epigenetics, and have your doctor friend read this, because here's the deal. There's a difference between a gene and a mutated gene. The breast cancer is not caused by a gene, it's caused by a mutated gene. The BRCA gene is a mutation of a healthy gene. Cystic fibrosis is not caused by a gene, it's caused by a mutated gene. It's a damaged chromosome. It's a damaged chromosome. And, medical professionals never ask themselves, well, what caused the damage? They just think it's baked into the cake. Now, certain illnesses are, in fact, baked into the cake, like Down syndrome, right? Once that switch has flipped, you're never going to be able to un-Down syndrome somebody. And I'm not sure if Kennedy's disease is of the same ilk. Maybe it is. With muscular dystrophy and cystic fibrosis, if we intervene in enough time, you can see remarkable resolutions of these conditions. So, what I do know about the body is that it's always actively trying to support and promote, it's always actively trying to optimize its structure and function. 100% of the time, the body is actively trying to optimize its structure and function. There is a point beyond which the body can't recover. Maybe, with Kennedy's disease, this is it. I don't think so. If I had Kennedy's disease, I would eliminate the 10 bad foods, and I would nutrify my body. I would max out my body's medical nutrition every day. I would max it out. And I would do that for 12 months, and I would see if I got any traction. Because, look, there's more going on here than meets the eye, and the body has more working parts than just the nerves. Right? The body is a complex, interrelated system of parts, each part affecting the other. Now, whether we can, make get traction with this particular neurological illness or not, I don't know. But the rest of his body needs nutrition. And maybe it's entirely possible that the quality of his life will increase to a remarkable, measurable, and noticeable degree when he gets on board with the right stuff. Stick around with me. At the other end of the break, I'll tell you what to do. Appreciate your phone call. Stick around, folks. More to come. Yeah, that's what it feels like, isn't it? Your Mission Impossible? It's Mission Possible, though. Remember, the sower had good seed. Some seed fell on, some seed fell on rocky ground. Nothing happened. Some seed the birds got. Some seed started growing, got choked out, right? But some seed fell on fertile ground. So it's about 25% of the people that you show this information to will get it. 75% won't. So grow a thick skin and tell as many people as you can. And if you can secure 25% success, you are a god or a goddess amongst men. Camille from Washington is still with us. Hey, Camille, are you still here?
Yes, I am.
All right. So nerve function needs cholesterol and essential fatty acids in order to optimize its structure and function. So the recommendation here is 1 healthy brain and heart pack, 1 selenium, 1 immortalium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 healthy brain and heart pack, 1 selenium, and 1 bottle of immortalium per 100 pounds of body weight per month, plus eliminate the 10 bad foods and eat a diet high in cholesterol. And I mean, go crazy for cholesterol. And, if he's been drilled by his medical colleagues, if the false notion that cholesterol is the Antichrist has been drilled into his head by his medical colleagues, then do a Google search for Uffe Ravenskov, Uffe, that's the first name, it's a Russian medical doctor, R-A-V like Victor, N-S-K-O-V, Uffe Ravenskov. He did a meta-analysis of all of the research ever published anywhere on heart disease and could find no relationship between cholesterol and heart disease. It does not exist. It is one of the biggest, most stupidest myths to persist in medical culture. But you know what's going to happen? One of these days, the MDs are going to say, hey, you know what? We were wrong about that whole cholesterol thing. Sorry. Then they're going to turn around, walk away, and nobody's going to complain. So there's no relationship between high cholesterol and heart disease. It does not exist. Your friend needs to develop a love affair with cholesterol on top of the 90 essential nutrients and an elimination of the 10 bad foods. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Camille. Thank you very much for calling. Thank you for your trust, and good luck with the next step. I'm thinking you're going to need it. Maybe not, though. People that are at the end of their rope, looking down the barrel of a gun of a chronic incurable disease, will do just about anything. It's a sad state of affairs that it has to get to be that bad for people to listen to what we have to say. It's a sad state of affairs, and that's why becoming a longevity distributor is important, because the more longevity distributors there are, the more this information reaches into people's lives before the axe falls, right? So prevention is key here. I mean, with the selenium research, 200 micrograms of selenium reduces the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%. Which means that if every girl in the world took 1 selenium supplement every day for their entire life in 1 generation, we'd eliminate breast cancer by 82%. By the way, selenium supplementation also dramatically reduces colon cancer, lung cancer, and prostate cancer. So, but if you don't know that, you don't know that, and so you go along with your life, and then you wake up one day and you've got prostate cancer when you could have been taking active steps to prevent it all along. We encourage people to stop smoking cigarettes, right, to avoid cancer. We encourage people to stop working in the asbestos-laden factory to avoid mesothelioma, right? Well, why don't we take proactive steps and encourage people to take selenium? We do. Nobody else does. If your oncologist doesn't know about selenium, they should have their license yanked, because there is so much research about the relationship between selenium and the prevention of breast cancer, lung cancer, prostate cancer, and colon cancer, that if your medical doctor is not aware of it, then they're a slacker. They're a slacker. They're a slacker. For goodness sake. But once again, remember, it's not your oncologist's job to cure cancer. It's your oncologist's job to suppress your symptoms until you die from cancer. And if that doesn't piss you off, you're simply not paying attention. My website is chock full of information like this, ladies and gentlemen. Go to it, become an insider as a Dr. Glidden Insider, which is a monthly subscription service, $20 a month. Or, I forget how much a year, $195 a year. You save 2 months if you join up for a whole year. You have immediate access to 100-plus hours of health webinars that I've done, 60-minute webinars each, all about different health conditions. If you like what I'm talking about on the radio, you're going to love the webinars. Check it out, drglidden.com. Click on the Become an Insider button and get your health back. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here with you in the second hour. Betty from the District of Columbia is calling with a question, I believe, about glaucoma. Hey, Betty, thanks for the call. You are live. Come in, Betty.
You are truly an answer to my prayers.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm here, Betty.
Well, the reason why I'm calling today, I have had, for about 20 years, glaucoma.
Ouch.
And as a result of, having it over the years, dealing with the eye drops that I just did not agree with my body,
right.
The doctor decided that the only other course would be to do surgery on my eyes and insert tubes to release the pressure.
Well, at least he didn't want to take your eye out.
Yeah, thank God for that. But anyway, since I've had the surgery, I have had just lots of inflammation, especially in my left eye, and I don't know why. Inflammation that they have been treating me since last June and July, with prednisone drops. I should know that without having to stutter.
Yeah.
But anyway, it wasn't until about 3 weeks ago when I heard about Youngevity that I got started on the product. Since that time, I have been successfully off of the prednisone drops because my eyes have been feeling much better.
Gotta love it.
I am not sure that what I'm taking now is the correct pack. I was told to take the Healthy Pack, which I started with the Healthy Pack, and the OPCT. I want to know if that is what I need to continue to correct the problem, because I do have some loss of vision, and I also have a cataract that was removed on the left eye, but I still have one on the right eye.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm glad you called. You need to dial in a better program here, a more efficient program, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's just like, it's just like doing laundry, right? I mean, I'm horrible at doing laundry, and I'll admit it. I put clothes in the washing machine, and they come out with more spots on them than they did when I put them in. Right? My fiance puts clothes in the washing machine. They come out looking like they're brand freaking new, and because there's a way to screw. You can even screw that up, right? So, right. It's the same thing with medical nutrition or anything. You got to dial it in, and so we need help here. But there's one thing I would like you to do for a little bit of inspiration. There's a website I'd like to direct you to, yteamtools.com, yteamtools.com. And I want you to purchase a CD that you can get there called Seeing is Believing.
I have that.
You have it?
That.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. All right. So that's testimonials, right, from people with many different types of eye conditions that got on board with medical nutrition and got their vision back. So now remember, right, we're not in the business of false hope. There is a point of no return. But I got to tell you, honest to God, Betty, since I've been working with Dr. Wallach, I'm extremely humbled because I used to think, I was a very good doctor, right? And I used to think I knew where the point of no return was. Oh, you'll never recover from that. And then Wallach comes along, and in his sleep, people recover from these things, and my head exploded. So, right? Maybe you'll be able to get it all back, maybe 80%, maybe 50%. But what we must understand here is that you didn't get glaucoma because you had eyes. And you didn't get glaucoma because you had a prednisone drop deficiency. You didn't get glaucoma because God didn't give you little plastic tubes that the MDs put in your eyes, right?
Right.
The process which causes this to happen, we believe, is generated by chronic inflammation to the microvasculature of the eyes. And chronic inflammation to the microvasculature of the eyes causes the vasculature to the eyes to get clogged and plugged up. Not really any different than your sink drain getting clogged up and then the water backs up. So that's why the MDs put the tubes in, because they're trying artificially to, increase the circulation by ramming, a plastic tube into the drain. And, well, maybe, but that's not going to eliminate the root cause of the illness, and there's going to cause more inflammation ultimately, because that stuff shouldn't be in the eye in the first place. So our recommendation here is twofold. Number one, you have to stop eating food that causes inflammation anywhere in the body, which is an interesting thing to talk about, right? Because some people will eat food that causes inflammation and it messes up their kidney. Some people, it messes up their eye. Some people, it messes up their left knee. Some people, it messes up their gallbladder. Some people, it messes up their heart. This is really what we should be investigating, is, why it goes here in one person and there in another person. Nobody knows. But from our point of view, because everything's connected, it would be prudent to eliminate foods that are pro-inflammatory, number one. And number two, to give the fire department of your body a leg up so that it can put the fires of inflammation out. So, and that's all that we do here with medical nutrition. So, number one, you have to eliminate the 10 bad foods. Have you done that?
I've started doing that, and I feel much better.
All right, good girl. You want to keep riding that horse. It's going to produce big payoffs for you eventually. And the way that goes, it's kind of like a snowball rolling down a hill, right? Eventually, it gets to a point where it's like really big, and then it takes off. And the same thing happens when you've been eliminating the 10 bad foods for a month or 2 months or 3 months or 4 months, and all of a sudden it develops a life of its own. So just keep riding that horse, please. It's gonna take you a great distance. Okay. Number two, what's your body weight?
164. Okay,
so because this is a therapeutic intervention, right? You would benefit, if you can afford it, from a 200-pound dose for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And the program that we recommend here, the Boilerplate Foundation Medical Nutrition Support and Promote programs that we recommend, have two phases, right? There's a therapeutic phase, and then there's a maintenance phase. And in the therapeutic phase, we give more than we do on the maintenance phase, because we're trying to make up for lost time and kind of stick our fingers in the holes in the dike, right? So in a perfect world, the recommendation for you would be all right, so here's what I'm going to recommend. 2 Healthy Start Pack 2.0 liquid formulas. 2 Healthy Start Pack 2.0 liquids per month. 4 bottles of selenium per month. 4 bottles of selenium per month. And 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily capsules per month.
Ultimate Daily. Okay, how do I take all this?
Well, how did you find out about us?
Through Dr. Benny Hinn's show.
Okay, and so who did you order the products through?
Chris in Utah.
All right, so call Chris or email Chris, and it's Chris's job as part of this network to walk you through how to take this stuff and hold your hand and help you figure all this out, right?
Okay.
And then that's how we do it. And, I mean, if you think that one through, it kind of makes sense because I can only answer so many phone calls a day, right?
Right.
Right? Dr. Wallach can only answer so many phone calls a day. So Chris hopefully has learned the ropes here. And the people that brought him or her in have taught them. And that's how we do it, through kind of a grassroots coalition. But he or she will tell you how to take the stuff, no problem.
Okay.
And that's how you do it. And I cannot emphasize enough, however, Betty, that you really have to maintain the discipline for the 10 bad foods, especially in this case, oil in a bottle and fried food. So that means
I definitely will do that because I've always been a person that has been health conscious.
Yeah.
And now that you have, enlightened me about the 10 worst foods, there's no way I'm going to go back eating the way I used to.
Well, listen, when you in your discovery process figure out a really good tasting salad dressing that's oil free,
Okay.
call me back and let me know because
Certainly will.
because we need to know this. You help me, I'll help you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Glidden.
You're welcome, Betty. You can thank me after it works. I appreciate your trust very much. Jim in Indiana is up next. Let's see what's happening. Hey, Jim, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hi, Doc Glidden. How you doing today, bud?
Pretty good, man. What's up?
Hey, you're on fire today. I know that. And
I know, right? I don't know what happened.
Passion.
Someone flipped a switch.
Hey, I was on the chat last week, Tuesday chat.
Yeah.
And I had a friend. I give you a big list of drugs that he was on.
Yeah.
I don't know if you recall that. You
Yeah.
you asked me to have him call.
Yeah.
His schedule will not allow that. So
Okay.
I figured I'd try to call. If not, I was going to get on chat tonight and ask again.
Yep.
An idea for what he should be doing.
Oh, what was the diagnosis?
Well, he's on Nexium, of course.
Yeah.
Sartan, triamterene, phenylfibrate.
Well, so he's got. Did they tell you what he has? Does he have like GERD or esophageal reflux or high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes?
Yeah, he's got the high blood pressure. He's got, and of course, high cholesterol.
Yeah, yeah. So he doesn't have high cholesterol, right? So
Right.
Nobody has high. Well, some people do, but if you're below 350, I'm good. If his
Right.
total cholesterol is below 350, I'm good. Okay. So heartburn. Now, I need to make one thing very clear here for you, and I know you understand this, but for the listening audience.
Mm-hmm.
In the context of this radio show, it's not appropriate for me to mess with people's prescription medications. And quite frankly, it's illegal. The only people that I can do that with are patients of mine who are seeing me in a state in which I am licensed to practice naturopathic medicine with prescriptive medicine rights. For instance, if I was licensed in Washington State, where I used to be licensed, and I could easily get another naturopathic license tomorrow to practice medicine in Washington State if I wanted to, I could tell patients who came to see me, as a patient, what to do about prescription medications, because in that state I'm allowed to prescribe drugs. So if I'm allowed to prescribe them, I'm allowed to deprescribe them, and that's how that works. But in the context of this radio show, I can't do that. However, what I do here is give people advice about what I would do if I were in their shoes. So if I was in the shoes of somebody who was taking a heartburn medicine or a statin drug, a cholesterol-lowering medication, I would flush them down the toilet immediately. I would flush those drugs down the toilet immediately. If it were me, of course, I can't tell them to do that because of legal reasons. Now, from our point of view, right, heartburn is not caused by too much stomach acid. It's caused by not enough stomach acid. And so what's useful, if somebody has been saddled with a diagnosis of heartburn, GERD, esophageal reflux, or whatever, is to support and promote the structure and function of the stomach, and we do that with elimination of the 10 bad foods, one healthy digestion pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and a diet that's high in salt. Salt your food so that it tastes good. For blood pressure support, we would add to that program 1 bottle of Cal Toddy per month. 1 bottle of Cal Toddy per month. And stick with me, Jim. On the other side of the break, I'll tell you more. finishing it up today, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for spending 2 hours with me. I hope you learned something today. Every once in a while, I get a little excited, and I think that's a good thing. Every once in a while, you need to stand up on the ship and yell, "Fire," when in fact there is a fire. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger, Will Robinson. Well, guess what? Your MD doesn't know what's best for you. They only know what they've been trained in. And what they've been trained in is how to suppress your symptoms with man-made synthetic drugs sold to you at a profit, the intention of which is not to cure you, but to manage your symptoms. Medical doctors, bless their hearts, do not practice healthcare. They practice disease management. They are most excellent to go to if you're suffering for the trauma to your body, or you actually really, in fact, do need surgery. Or you have, a nasty infectious disease, right? Like tuberculosis or something crazy like that. Then the MD has relatively good therapeutics for you. But for everything else, they are evil and should be avoided like the plague. Finishing up with Jim today. All right, Jim, you still with me?
I'm still with you.
All right. So, what we do, right, when there's smoke, when there's hoofbeats, we think about horses before we think about, a Sasquatch, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So with blood pressure issue, the first thing to think of is supporting healthy circulation, and we do that with extra calcium and magnesium. So to the healthy digestion pack, I would add a Cal-Toddy, 1 or 2 extra bottles of Cal-Toddy a month. And it's important when people are taking blood pressure meds, because, of course, high blood pressure is called the silent killer, to get some type of a blood pressure measurement device that they check with a medical professional. So you go to CVS or Walgreens, you get a cuff, and then you take it to your fire department and have the guys who are not out on call measure your blood pressure with their equipment and with your equipment, and you see that your equipment is accurate. Now, once your equipment is accurate, you take your blood pressure a couple times a day at home and you write the numbers down. And then you maintain the therapeutic with your prescription medication if you want to. It's a free country. You can do whatever you want. And then you start the medical nutrition intervention, whether it's ours or somebody else's, and hopefully it's ours. And then when your blood pressure numbers start to come down, you go back to your medical professional or a pharmacist and say, "Hey, man, my blood pressure's coming down. I need to withdraw from the med. How do I do it?" And then they will they're happy to do that once they see subjective or objective improvement. So that's where I would start. I do the healthy digestion pack and extra Cal-Toddy. Eliminate the 10 bad foods, salt the food so that it tastes good. If it were me, I would flush the statin drugs and the proton pump inhibitors down the toilet. And for all the other drugs, regretfully, he's on his own. What state does this guy live in?
Indiana.
Indiana, yeah. See, we're not licensed and regulated there, so he's kind of on his own. Now, remember, look, it's a free country.
Right.
And people can always go to a pharmacist and say, "Look, here are the meds that I'm on. I don't want to be on these anymore.
Yeah.
Please recommend a reduction schedule." And also, sometimes what happens, right, is people, they get fed into the system, and so they see the general practicing MD, and then they get referred to a specialist, and then they get referred to another specialist. And so, each individual doctor doesn't care what the patient's already taking because they're busy and they don't have time to attend to that. Yeah. So often, people are on way too many medications just because there are too many chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So sometimes, if that is what has happened to this guy, and I don't know if it is, what needs to happen is he needs to step up and tell his general practicing family doc, "Look, just bring all the crap into the doctor's office. Say, look, this is all that I'm taking. I really don't think I need to be taking all this stuff. I need you to whittle this stuff down to the bare bones for me, please, because this is nonsense." And sometimes they can get traction that way. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Jim, I could talk to you all day, man. Call more. I always look forward to your phone calls. I appreciate your support as an insider. I appreciate the stand that you've taken for the health of your friends, family, and church members, etc., with Youngevity. You are one of the reasons we move forward rapidly. I appreciate everything that you do. Thanks to everybody in the chat room. Thanks for all of your support. The next live event for Insiders Only tonight, 8 o'clock Central Time. Live chat with yours truly. Check it out, drglidden.com. Click on the Become an Insider button. God willing, the creek don't rise. See you then. Live long and prosper.